Thought we'd try a different view. I don't have much to do on this tree. I just want to bring all of the places that have 3 shoots coming from one spot down to 2 before I put it outside. So, get my trusted little cutters out. Actually, I think I'll use these ones. These ones here. And we'll just go through. I'll take off anything that's growing down. Figured we'd try a different view today. There we go. Take that right off. I'm not going to try rooting any of these. I've heard hit and miss stories of people that do it, but it's not really necessary for me. And then there are 3 coming from the same point here. And I have branches on both sides that are decently nice. This one and this one are somewhat interfering, so I think I will take this lower one off and keep this one off and keep these 2. There we go. So we're down to 2 there. That one is single, and this one is already at 2. Okay, what's next? Still in shot. So this one is at 2. I'm not sure why these inside branches, the second one is always to the inside, but that's how it is. Now, as I mentioned before, these white pines, you can tell that they're a white pine because if you look at the needles, let me see if I can zoom in here a bit more. So if you look at these needles here, I can get one out and zoomed in. So the whole needle here, if you count the amount of needles, there's 5. 5 needles coming from one point. So that makes it a white pine. I'm sure a lot of you already know that, but some people don't. So we've got 2 there. We've got a branch that's growing downwards here. So I'll just take that one off. These 2 are spaced okay. This one and this one seem to be good. And then up here we have 3. There's one going a little bit up, one going off to the side, and one going down. In this case, should I keep the 2 smaller ones? Or should I keep the larger one? Actually, I think in this case, I'm going to remove this one that's growing up. It just doesn't flow like the other 2 do. The other 2, these 2 here are almost sideways. And this one's going straight up. And this one's not going straight down. It should level off into a pad. So in this case, I'm going to take off the one that's growing up. There. I like how that looks. These will eventually make little pads. I still don't know how exactly I'm going to style this tree. It's got quite an interesting growth pattern just on its own. Where are we here? There's a lot of needles. I'm going to leave all these old needles on there because this thing was repotted way at the wrong time of the year. So I want to keep it as vigorous as possible so it grows nice roots. So I'm going to leave all those needles on. And then at the top up here, we have 3. 1 growing in and 2 growing outwards. And that seems to be what it is trying to make an apex with. So that's the top of the tree. So and you can see there's like a million buds up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a whole bunch of buds on that middle, let's see if I can zoom in for you. On that middle one there. There are tons of buds, and then there's these 2 that come out to the side. So I gotta try and decide what I'm gonna do with that. And actually, I should probably take the middle one off and keep the 2 side ones to try and keep this pine nice and low to the ground. Don't mind the noise out there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the vigorous middle. There. So now it's doing that, but those will straighten out. And I'll have to decide which one will be my apex or where my apex will be. There's also a little branch over here. Inside here. See that branch right here? It's growing back toward the inside instead of fanning out. It doesn't flow. I'm going to take that off. There's a bud lower down here that'll take that place. So we'll take that off. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. There's also a little shoot. Well, it's not a little shoot, but right in the middle here, or this one right here. I don't like how that flows there. I'm going to take that one off as well. Just like that. There we go. And this little fella here has a lot of potential. I'm not even sure if I'm good enough to have it. Maybe it deserves somebody with more experience, but at least it'll live. If I had left it in place in the gravel pit, it would not have lived, that's for sure. Oh, the house flies. The little biting flies are awful. You can see the needles are very short here. The older needles are a bit longer. And that's just from where it was growing. So I'll just give you a spin of up here. And it's very healthy. You can see where I made the cut point there is very healthy. I'm very happy with this little one. Yeah. So I'll have all winter to decide what I want to do with it. Hopefully it survives. And now I'm just gonna go and put it outside on the benches there. Update on the little pit spruce that I picked up. I added some bark, some of that orchid bark on the top just to stop the water from evaporating too quickly. And so that when I water it, it makes it a little more acidic. Doing very well. Took the cuts well. The buds seem to be swelling. So now I'm going to put it outside with the other trees so it can acclimate for winter. You can see the little buds in there. They all got super big. They're still doing very well. Yeah. So my hibiscus here is not really slated for a repot, but it is in that same soil the other ones were. I don't know if I will. The roots are super nice on this one. I might dig them down a little bit to see how they're doing. I don't know if I'll repot it, but it sure needs a trim, and it definitely needs these monsters that are in here taken out. Yeah. Whoa! Did you see that? Look at these. They're not even ripe yet. Isn't that crazy? These things are just insane. Oh, that one's not ready yet. That one popped out like crazy. See what this one will do. Nope. Yeah, these things just go nuts. One of my previous videos, I caught them on slow motion. Oh, I bet you this one will go. Nope. Oh, good. I'll be able to get them out of there without them seeding all over the place. So yeah, first things first. These guys not only travel by root, but they also grow along the ground and then root, like strawberries. And then they throw seeds as far as the eye can see. Ooh, there's seeds spraying everywhere. And that happened inside too. I think I showed my Ficus benjamina, where everything had reseeded and regrown. I didn't show weeding it a second time, but I got it all weeded back out again. And these things have roots like carrots, big, thick, long roots. And yes, the soil's dry. I do that sometimes if plant can handle it, because it actually kills these. See, they don't like being dry, so it actually kills them off, which is nice. And I wasn't sure if I was going to repot this or not. I like to repot things when they're drier versus being soaking wet. This is one of our local flowers. It has a nice little purple flower. Oh, missed the roots on these. They go deep. Look at that. That's awful. All right. Now, it's leaning, and I didn't really intend for it to be leaning. And there's a shoot growing way down here at the bottom, which I also don't need. Get the snippers here. Oh, there's two of them there. We'll just snip that off. Clean that up. Sometimes it's easier just to go with your nail. And I'm just going to lightly dig around here and see what this root system is doing. See if I can zoom you in on that. Oops. I missed the zoom button. This thing had really cool root system. Oh, try not to bury that guy. And that's why I decided that this one was going to be the one I was going to keep. They all had this really cool octopus root system, but most of them had the thick roots pointing straight down. This one had the roots splaying out, which was just beautiful. And you can see they're still that way, even though the tree is leaning. The hibiscus. There are new roots growing all over. That's good. Look at that. So that's the root system that we have. And that's pretty cool. Lots on one side, a little bit less on this side. Maybe that's the reason it leaned. Oops. Fell off the little latex on there. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I'll be able to start bringing that up soon enough. For now, let's see if we can should I repot it maybe into better soil? I'm starting to think that I probably should repot it into better soil. This is that cactus mix, and it worked really good at first, but it sure does dry out fast inside the house. I need stuff with a bit more organics in it, I think. Oh, that root base is just fantastic. Yeah, I think we'll do a repot. So I'm going to get you guys reset somewhere, maybe somewhere more flat and where you can see, and we'll start a repot on this hibiscus. Okay, so I went ahead and removed it from the pot already. You can see it's got lots of roots growing, which is nice. So I'm going to take this stuff off, and this definitely was the first type of cactus soil that I was trying out. And I did repot a lot of these, or pot a lot of these, into the cactus soil at a time where I was unable to get perlite. It just was not available in this area anywhere, and that's probably why it's like this. See, that's a root from those little clover things. Here's another one. Those weeds are crazy. You leave even a tip of this in there and it'll grow back. So I want to save this little native plant here. I'm going to repot it back in with this hibiscus because they look pretty nice together. Oh, it's rooted in there very well already. It hasn't really even been in the pot that long, but it's got some nice roots. I'm going to put it over here in a different pot. Just lay it there, and then I'm just going to soak it so it doesn't dry out. Okay, I'm just going to take off the bulk of the soil with my hands. It's nice and dry for this. When the soil gets really wet sometimes, it doesn't come apart very easily. Wow. This root mass is just beautiful. Just taking out all the stuff from the weeds. You can tell they're a different color. Oh, just beautiful. Look, that's all weeds. It's not even from this plant. Sometimes a repot is the only way to get those buggers out. We had some circling around. Words are hard. Okay. Wow. What beautiful root mass this has. That is so perfect. Okay, and before I do anything else, I need to wet this. Now these long ones, I'm going to be chopping off anyway, but I need to wet these because I don't want to lose the feeder roots. Wow. See, these ones are growing up a little bit because it was leaning. So I'm going to have to fix that a bit. Alright. Give you guys a close-up of this. Let's see if I can do it without going crazy here. Look at this. Isn't that wicked? That is wicked. Wow. Oh, too far. There you go. Okay. So now we need a root cutter-rator. We've got a couple of them. This is my rusty one. That's for roots now. That's the one I lost, and when I rebought it, I got another one. So I got a good one for the upper part and a junky one for the lower part. Now, these two roots are growing from the same spot, but I'm going to leave them because there's really nothing else here. We have roots inside that are growing straight down. We'll remove those. Anything growing straight down. There we go. It's a little bit off the bottom there. Another one. Okay. Over here we have a new smaller root starting beside this one. I'm going to leave that for now and just bring it out so it flows. This one's kind of growing straight up. take that off. See what you guys are seeing here. Oh yeah, you guys can see that. That's good. I think this one on top also come off. And this one. Sorry if I'm in the way there. This one comes out nice, but and this one just kind of goes over on top. Take that off. This one here can be sort of moved. I don't know if I want that many that thick there though. There's already a bunch here. I'd rather have roots come out the other side. So I think I will remove this one. Because I know that later on these will fuse together. I see it on other people's trees where the roots fuse together. Got another one under here that's growing oddly. I'll just take that off. There we go. Okay. So if we go a bit farther down, I know they do some weird curves and angles, but I actually don't mind that. If I were to put this over a rock or over a something or other, that would look kind of cool. There's one close by here growing on the inside. I'm going to take that off. I actually want these roots to thicken up, and then the way they'll make the trunk look, I think, will be better if I just left the thick roots there and have them spread out a little bit farther down. I don't know how to explain that really. Just taking off some of the ones that are growing up here. Okay, so there's some long ones here. I'm just going to cut back. I'll probably put it back into the same pot that it came out of. Oh, that root comes from way over here, and it's growing at a really weird angle over here, so I'm going to take it off way from over here. Interesting. There we go. Just taking off longer stuff. Everything seems to flow out really nicely so far. And the stuff that doesn't is easily maneuvered. So that's not bad. There we go. These ones here I'll have to remedy a little bit. Get rid of some of this longer growth. This one is very vigorous, this root. There we go. And this one I should be able to move over a little bit. Once I get it in the pot, I might even stick something in between those two roots to keep them separated a bit. I don't think I'll take this top one off of this one. I think it'll give me a choice later. I'll leave me the choice later. This one here, I'll have to push it down a bit, same as these two. Push them down a little bit till we get some more stuff growing in here. But I will take this big long one off. And that big long one off. And that big long one off. Oh, thought I could pull it, but it was too strong. Okay, that one's alright. That one seems alright. This one's okay. That will work. That will work. I'll just I'll just cut her back here. There we go. So there's this one. Just bring it back. This one's here. And just take back naturally. There. So as I repot, just a matter of fixing everything so that it all fans out nicely. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I may have to thin some of these ones out later as I get more growing here, maybe. Actually, this root here, I was going to leave it to fill that gap, but I think maybe it's too close to this one. I'm going to take it off. There. I think that'll be better in the long run. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's a crazy root base. So, I am going to spray this root system so it doesn't dry. And I'm going to mix some soil and we'll come back and get that potted up and trimmed.